Hello, welcome back to another episode on Red Bull. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and leave a like. Let's get into the story now. Thanks everyone for the kind words and advice.
Original story. Wow. She really caught me off guard. So 6 days ago, my wife of 8 years started acting very strange. I kept asking her what was wrong and she said she was stressed and had things to work out. The next day she said part of it was us. Now I'm getting pretty nervous. She finally talks to me and says she's stressed about work. Her life needs time to herself. Never gets time to herself. Has issued with us. So I do my best to give her space during which she barely speaks to me. The only thing keeping me sane at this point is our 3 kids. Finally last night she talks to me and says it's mostly us. She's felt disconnected with me for quite some time and in a roundabout way says she's only with me because of the kids. She tells me a list of things she's unhappy about. All of which I've done my best to address so I don't understand. Ironically I have many of the same issues with her although I never once thought of leaving her because of it. I've done everything with my family in mind and it's been thrown back in my face. I feel like our last couple years were a sham. Now it's the waiting game as she makes up her mind if she's staying. I'm so hurt. Frustrated. Angry. Scared. Thank God for my kids which I feel so sorry for right now. How did it suddenly come to this? My wife is treating me better and it's pissing me off. Vent/rant/FML. This is a throwaway for overly paranoid reasons and sorry for the novel. I 32M told my wife 29F that I wanted a divorce last week and she acted like I completely blindsided her. She was shocked. She had no idea I wasn't happy. And it's taking a lot for me not to blame myself for that. I feel like our relationship has been on a steady decline since we said I do 3 years ago. Before we got married there were some red flags. But nothing that prepared me for just how manipulative she would be throughout our marriage. I don't even think she's aware of it. Hell, I wasn't even aware of it until recently. First I was the butt of her jokes, little jabs here and there that were hilarious. Just ask her. When I told her that I didn't appreciate being mocked or having my personality or having my job be part of a joke, she insisted that I was overreacting. I believed her. Things continued to escalate. I had told her early on. Due to trauma, I didn't like being called names. So, when we had fights she started calling me names: selfish, asshole, prick, etc. I never know if something will set her off. But I know specifically if I tell her that something she did or said upset me that there will be a fight. I will get called names. And I will apologize. She told me that it wasn't that I was upset, it was how I reacted when I became upset. I believed her and did my best to correct it. When I stopped reacting, she said it wasn't that I was upset, it was my energy or how I looked at her that made her upset. I believed her. If I disagree with a change she wants to make to the house or something she wants to buy, despite pretty much letting her do whatever she wants to avoid conflict, I'm close-minded and don't appreciate the thought she put into it. So I tried to be more open-minded. We both work full-time. But I cook most of the meals. Do the dishes after I've cooked the meal. Clean the kitchen. Am the primary caretaker for the dogs. And clean anything that is too yucky. That didn't stop her from making me feel like I was never doing enough. I didn't get a ton of appreciation for what I did. But I definitely heard about the things I didn't do. So I kept trying to do more. I told her that I didn't want to be called names. That I felt like I didn't have any space, much less a safe space to share my feelings. And that I felt like I was doing everything I could around the house. And to support her. That was several months ago now. Though, I guess I felt like it fell on deaf ears because I never saw any improvement. So I stopped asking her to change how she was treating me. At this point, you're probably asking yourself, well, affectionate, Pi 314. Why did you stay for so long? I'm so glad you asked. When we weren't busy fighting. And she was in a good mood. We got along great. During those times she was quick to tell me how cute and smart I am. We would make each other laugh until we cried. I knew she didn't mean all those terrible things she said. She just gets emotional because of how much she loves me. Also, my friends and family absolutely adore her. She's made my family part of her social circle. My sister even told me that my wife is her best friend. An onlooker would have no idea that we're having problems. Especially since I made it a point to never speak negatively about our relationship to our friends and family because I didn't feel like that would be right. Being the social butterfly that she is. Though, her friends know how much I struggle to be happy and properly communicate. And another big reason I stayed is that I'm an insecure people pleaser. There's a reason I was so easily convinced that I was the problem. My wife and my sister even had a little intervention to get me on medication, further solidifying that everything was my fault. I was terrified of leaving because I didn't and still don't want to hurt my wife. I love her. I don't want to hurt my friends and family. I don't want to split up our dogs. I'm also the prodigal son in my immediate family. I'm supposed to be perfect. I have a good job. A beautiful and kind wife who has an even better job. Why would I ruin any of that? Then I started individual therapy and it turns out there's a lot of vocabulary terms for all of the shit I've been through. I deserve to have my feelings acknowledged. And it's not my responsibility to make sure that everybody is happy at the expense of my own happiness. If you're still with me, thank you for reading. I'm finally getting to my inspiration for writing this. After I told my wife I wanted a divorce, she called my sister and then my sister called me. After my sister accused me of cheating. Because why else would I want to leave so quickly? My wife and sister convinced me to stay for a few months while we try couples therapy. We dabbled in couples therapy, but never really committed. So I agreed to give it a shot. Since I told my wife I wanted a divorce, she has been perfect. She's apologized profusely. Let me share my feelings. She's been thanking me for everything that I do for us. And it is making me so angry. I want to give couples therapy a shot. I really do. I believe more now than ever that therapy can be very helpful. But her being so great to me is showing me that she was always capable of being better to me. For some reason that hurts more than anything. When I told her how much I hated being called names. How much I hated the constant criticism and the anxiety of feeling like I couldn't do enough. She could have been better. Other than the catharsis of typing this out, I was wondering if anybody else has been through a similar situation. Am I overreacting to her newfound empathy? How helpful did you find couples therapy? Thank you again for taking the time to read and/or sharing your experiences. TL. Dr. My wife has been an emotional terrorist for the duration of our marriage. But since I told her I wanted a divorce last week, she's been an absolute doll, and it's pissing me off because she is capable of change when it's her feelings at stake. Please advise. Also, my wife and sister have convinced me to give couples therapy a try. How helpful was couples therapy for you?
Thank you for watching.